Chairperson Herrera, you do have 4 members of your body here today. That gives us enough for a quorum. I will remind the commissioners though, at any time, if anybody leaves the meeting before it's over, then we will need to stop the meeting as we will lose set quorum.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to call the May 25th. Good evening, everyone. I would like to call the May 25th, 2023 Parks, Recreation, and Community Service Commission regular meeting to order at 5:36. This meeting is taking place entirely in person in the City Council chambers. The public is accessing the meeting via the Santana YouTube channel or the city's website. Please bear with us as the technology may disrupt the flow of the meeting. Will the recording secretary please call roll?
Thank you, Chairperson. Commissioner Gomez, Commissioner Nelson, Commissioner Matthews, Commissioner Wu,
Here.
Commissioner Torres,
Present.
Commissioner Diaz,
Present.
Chairperson Herrera.
Here.
You have a quorum, Chairperson.
Thank you so much, recording secretary. Can we please, can you all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Great, we're back. So next on the agenda are presentations for employees of the month. We have 4 employees of the month. So, we continue to recognize our employees of the Parks and Recs Department for their amazing work and contribution. I will start off by recognizing Evelyn Muniz. Evelyn joined the Parks and Recs team with a big challenge ahead of her. She would be responsible for the training and onboarding of 30+ lifeguards on Parks and Recs, prepared to deliver aquatics programming to the community for the first time in 5 years. Evelyn delivered advanced life-saving training like CPR and first aid and Title 22 curriculum so that the Santana lifeguards are prepared to work with the public this summer. And so if we can give a round of applause to Evelyn Muniz for their employee of the month. Great. Commissioner Wu, would you like to read your employee of the month?
Yes, it's Jamie Wong. She's an animal keeper, and Jamie has been part of the animal care team for 3.5 years. And in that time, she has trained to work with every animal at the zoo. In fact, she's currently the only part-time animal keeper to be able to do so. She has a passion for enrichment and enjoyment, coming up with new and clever designs for the animals in her care. Jamie's flexibility, willingness to help have been instrumental the past few months as the animal care team has been short-staffed with vacant positions. Jamie is always willing to lend a hand to help her teammates and has been a dedicated member of the animal care team. Congratulations, Jamie. Thank you.
Commissioner Diaz, would you like to read yours?
Alexander Mosqueda has been with the city for 2 years. Alex has been part of the animal care team for over 5 years. He started as a volunteer in 2018 and was hired as a part-time animal keeper in 2021 and has been a full-time zookeeper 1 since December 2022. Alex's positive attitude and strong work ethic are just 2 reasons that he has been a great addition to our team. He's always willing to help and was instrumental in several thought veterinary procedures in recent months. Alex has come in early and stayed in late when the need has been arising. Recently, he has moved around to several different areas within the animal care due to staffing needs, and he has excelled in each one of them. Congratulations, Alex.
Commissioner Zacarias Torres.
Oscar Gamero. In just a short 6 months, Oscar joined the Parks and Recreation and Community Services Agency and has made a considerable impact on the community engagement team. He stepped into a position that did not exist prior to his time and quickly made it his own. Oscar immediately embraced the new vision of the community engagement section and has become an invaluable member of the team who has helped shape the direction of the agency's marketing and social media strategies. In recent months, Oscar's efficient work style has helped every section of the agency translate their programs, services into publicly engaging content that has increased participation drastically. He assisted with the massive website redesign, Cultura magazine content revisions and submissions, regular press releases, and of course, those engaging reels and posts you see on social media every day. Oscar is not only an efficient and hardworking employee, but he consistently brings a positive attitude and excitement into the office every day he is here. He is eager to learn, loves to connect with his peers, and is a big picture thinker who has managed to become a model employee for the agency. Congratulations, Oscar.
This is great. I'm glad that our staff are being recognized for their hard work and contribution to our city. I look forward to continued recognitions from our staff to be recognized. And next on the agenda. Next on the agenda is the time for public comments. Recording secretary, does anyone wish to speak?
Thank you, Chairperson. Would like to remind everyone who's joining us via Zoom that if you would like to provide public comments, please use the raise hand feature on your Zoom. Chairperson, at this moment, we do not have any public comments.
Great. Do we have folks on Zoom that are tuning in? 5 folks on Zoom. Oh, that's great.
We do.
Well, I encourage the folks on Zoom to don't be shy. Please, provide any public comments about, how you're experiencing parks in your neighborhood. Maybe you'd like to see more programming in a specific area, or you attended programming that you would like to share with the commission. It's very helpful for us as we advocate for the public in terms of, what we wish to see from our Parks and Recs department. So I hope that you all are able to make public comment and just share, with the good, the bad, and the great. Next on the agenda is the consent calendar. So item 1 and 2 are minutes of the regular meeting of the March 23rd, 2023 meeting, and April 27th, 2023 meeting, as well as excused absences. I know at the last meeting we did not have that present, but then this time we did combine both of them. And so is there do we have a motion on the floor to approve the minutes of the March 23rd meeting and the April 27th, 2023 meeting and excuse absences?
I so do move to motion the approval of the minutes.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Great. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Seeing no oppositions, I believe it's approved.
Chairman, we do have a roll call on that. Commissioner Wu,
Yes.
Commissioner Torres,
Present.
Commissioner Diaz,
Yes.
Commissioner Herrera.
Yes.
So moved.
Great. Thank you so much, Recording Secretary. That is the end of the consent calendar. Next on the agenda is new business. Tonight we have 2 items, and I would now turn this over to our Executive Director, Scott, for item 3, which is the information on senior services.
All right, Chairperson Council, I have the honor of having Juan Lara, our supervisor for our seniors, and he's got a great report to give to you. Mr. Lara.
Good evening, everyone. Again, as you've already heard, and obviously I also have the privilege of knowing some of you personally, but my name is Juan Lara, and I'm the Recreation and Community Services Supervisor responsible for senior services under the Parks and Recreation Agency. And tonight I have the pleasure of sharing with you a bit of the work that we've been doing out of the senior services section. So hope you get to learn a lot and you come and visit us soon. Okay, so again, primarily, the city operates two senior centers. Our first one being the Santa Ana Senior Center, located at 424 West Third Street, corner with Ross. It is our oldest senior center, and it is here in the downtown area. And then, a few decades later, we built the Southwest Senior Center that is now located at 2201 West McFadden, corner with Center Street. Both of our senior centers operate Monday through Friday and offer all kinds of program services and activities for our seniors from 8 in the morning till 5 p.m. Now, our senior centers serve as the hub, for all, anything to do with seniors in our city. And we actually have quite a few seniors that come from other cities to spend a day at our senior centers, just because, again, the tremendous amount of programming and services that we provide. Now, to share with you about some of those programs and services, we're going to start with the recreation and fitness activities. As it relates to recreation and fitness, we offer anything ranging from chair yoga to dance to Tai Chi, as well as then billiards, which are primarily played by the gentlemen, karaoke, which is enjoyed by all, and obviously all kinds of board games, including loteria and bingo, which are very, very popular, and we offer those on multiple opportunities throughout the week. In regards to our classes and seminars, we offer all kinds of, again, educational, as well as personal development classes, including choir, guitar, English as a second language, technology courses, as well as workshops related to healthy aging and pain management, among many others. We also organize on a monthly basis what we refer to as Spirit Week. And during Spirit Week, we try to tie it into our monthly special events, which I'll share with you a little more in detail later, or again, to something related and connected to the month. And throughout the week, then the seniors are asked to dress in a particular way, just again, to have some fun with their attire, to either work also on a craft, and or to even go on a scavenger hunt around the senior center and the adjacent park, or even the neighborhood, if possible. So, we do that again on a monthly basis. What our seniors also are very happy about is that we resumed our congregate meal service. So during the pandemic, as you may have heard, the city still continued to provide a meal assistance to our seniors via the distribution of frozen meals. But now that, again, thankfully, the pandemic is no longer an issue, we've resumed our in-dining service at both of our senior centers. So Monday through Friday from 11:30 in the morning till 12:30 in the afternoon, so for about an hour, we offer a hot meal for seniors to then come and enjoy, spend the time with their peers, but most importantly, again, to have that nutritious meal that for some of our seniors may be the one meal that they get to have a day. We also support our seniors with additional food supplies via our commodity distribution program. And we offer bags of canned goods and other non-perishables to families that are registered, not just our seniors, primarily our seniors, but also families in the neighborhood. And we distribute those commodities twice a month. It's depending on your last name. So A through M is the second Thursday of the month, and N through Z is the third Thursday of the month. So again, anybody needing those kinds of resources are welcome to come and visit our senior centers, register for that particular program, and then begin collecting their commodities. As I mentioned, we also have a very, very popular special event activity at the center. So every month we gather with our seniors to what they like to refer to as their time to spend with friends, to enjoy good food, and to have lots of fun. So our monthly special events, as you can see from some of our pictures, they're themed based on, again, whatever holiday we may have for the month. So New Year's in January, Valentine's in February, St. Patrick's in March, Mother's Day in May. We just celebrated Father's Day in June, and so on and so forth. So the events are very much lively with, entertainment, with plenty of food. And again, then the opportunities for our seniors to win some raffle prizes. But what they really enjoy the most is the dancing. If they could, they'll be dancing from the beginning of the event to the end of the event, because even as they're eating, you can see them moving and dancing in their chairs. But, currently with the events being held at both senior centers, we are averaging about 250 seniors at each of our monthly events. And again, this is for both senior centers. And so now for the month of July, we'll be celebrating our summer ice cream social. And again, that's being combined with our 4th of July celebration. So we welcome you to join us and observe and partake in our special events, but obviously bring your dancing shoes because the seniors will invite you to dance as well. Okay. Carrying on, another program that we just resumed recently and that our seniors are thoroughly enjoying is our excursion program. So we have put together an excursion a month for our seniors to go to different destinations, not just here in Orange County, but throughout Southern California. So our first excursion was to the LA Zoo back in March, and our seniors absolutely loved it, though traffic was an issue, but then again, it is LA. So they still made the best out of it and are looking forward to going back again next year. We followed that with a trip to Descanso Gardens and then lunch at the Santa Anita shops in April. Now, just last week, they thoroughly enjoyed their time in Old Town San Diego. They were asking us to actually stay there a little longer if possible. And most importantly, they asked us to add more buses, to this particular excursion. We've had wait lists for all of them, but San Diego was very, very popular. Now, it wasn't a matter of us not being able to provide a second bus. It was an issue with our transportation company that only had one bus available to us, because we did try to add more buses, but the company that we work with had no other buses available. But the seniors really enjoyed their time, and they're asking us again, not only to maybe host this trip twice a year, but also to make it as long as possible because they really enjoyed their time there. And then to end our fiscal year, next week, we're taking them to the Citadel outlets. So we try and do that as well to facilitate their personal shopping. And we're planning another shopping trip closer to Christmas so that they also have an opportunity to take care of some of their Christmas shopping then. But again, these trips are very, very popular. Our team is currently working on now developing the excursion schedule for our new fiscal year beginning in July. And we hope to take them to all kinds of different destinations, more than likely those starting with the Orange County Fair in the month of July. So we'll keep you updated on those excursions. And if we ever need chaperones, you're welcome to join us. So one of the additional programs that makes it possible for a lot of our seniors to come to our centers and to participate in all of the activities is our senior transportation program. Some of our seniors don't drive, or some that used to drive are no longer able to do so, or those that can still drive but don't have the means by which to own their own vehicle. Then they rely and receive the support of our senior transportation program. So this program is primarily funded through our collaboration with the Orange County Transportation Authority. And that provides now an opportunity for us to provide door-to-door service to our seniors. So we pick them up at their homes and every morning, and then bring them to the senior center of their choice. They're able to then participate in the activities at the senior center, as well as to enjoy the opportunity to go on local shopping trips, and then the mini field trips that we also organize through this program. And at the end of the day, we drive them back home, and they really, really enjoy that. Now, we have been very fortunate to restructure this program because, as you all may be aware, we're still having challenges, throughout many different industries in terms of having the, correct personnel supporting all of our operations. And we have had challenges in hiring part-time drivers because we've relied through, its inception, this program has relied on part-time drivers. But given, some of the savings that we accrued over the pandemic, as well as some, intelligent financing, we were able to then use the available funds to where in this new fiscal year, we will be hiring full-time drivers and be able to not only expand the services that we provide to our seniors via this transportation program, but obviously open that service to even more of our seniors. Now, the only requirements that this program has for the door-to-door service and the other transportation services that we provide is that the seniors be over the age of 60 and that they reside in the city of Santa Ana, and obviously that then they need to register to participate in one of our senior centers along with registering for the transportation program and requesting those specific services. So if you know of anybody that's interested in coming to our senior center but has difficulty in getting there, please let them know that we do have this service available to them. Okay, now a lot of the work that we do is obviously provided through the support of the general fund with the city. But as you already heard, we also rely in partnerships, such as the case with transportation via the funds that we receive from OCTA. But we have other partnerships that make some of our programs and services, a reality. And 1 second. So backtracking a bit, one of the other series of services that we offer is also now being supported through funding that we received through the CDBG grant with the city. As you may know, CDBG stands for Community Development Block Grants. And with the additional 100,000 that we've received now for this second year in a row, we've been able to add a programming that our seniors very much have needed, but we had not had the resources to offer previously. So some of those services or programs that we offer under CDBG are our English for Spanish speakers classes. We also develop a monthly activity booklet that the seniors are very much enjoying, picking up every first of the month and then working throughout the month on that particular booklet. They also receive grab and go arts and crafts kits, so they can then take those and work either on their own or with their families at home. We offer a variety of different fitness pop-up opportunities so that seniors again can get to enjoy being able to get fit and a little healthier while working out with their peers, and then sharing that newfound fitness routine with their families. We're also now offering social paint pop-ups. So again, our seniors are able to work on different art projects. And the most important thing about it is then they get to take those home with them and share with their families. We also just started a table tennis program that is growing in popularity. And so we're currently offering that program just at the Santa Ana Senior Center, but we look to expand that to Southwest Senior Center shortly, and then beyond there as the need and the interest grows. And lastly, we're also now revamping our walking club so that we can either have them walk from one of our senior centers to around the neighborhood and to other destinations, but eventually also tap into our transportation program and be able to take them to different locations, and then they can enjoy a nice walk in different parts of town or even different parts of the county. As I mentioned earlier, again, a lot of this work is really only truly made possible through the partnerships that we've established with different organizations. So for very many years, again, we've been working with the Meals on Wheels organization that primarily supports our dining services at both senior centers. We work also with Santa Ana College, for a lot of our courses. So they provide the instruction and they cover obviously the cost of the instructor at our facilities. We have been working very closely also with Amistad Medical Clinics, and they are one of our major sponsors for our monthly special events, covering the cost of entertainment, as well as providing some of the very highly sought after raffle prizes. We work with the County of Orange and the Office on Aging for a lot of the educational seminars, as well as assistance with Medicare workshops and other senior related topics. We are very, very proud of our partnership with the Assistance League of Santa Ana, and they have been a great partner in adopting our seniors for the holidays. They also provide gift certificates to their gift shop for our seniors to go and shop whenever they have a need, but not the means by which to purchase those particular items. And we're looking to do a lot more work with them, including also then offering the free dental services that the Assistance League provides primarily to our seniors, but to their families as well. And then lastly, also, we are continuing to grow our partnership with the Santa Ana Public Library. They have been bringing their, it used to be called Happy Hour, now is Te Explanation, or Te Explicamos in Spanish. And it's a technology-based program where our seniors get a little more familiar and more comfortable with technology. But they also are providing, the Knowledge Mobile once a month that comes to the Southwest Senior Center and facilitates the checkout of books and other technology devices to our seniors on site. So that's also been a great partnership. And we hope to continue to grow and develop those further. So we'll keep you up to date in future presentations. But obviously, we are responding to the need of having seniors have their voice be heard. And this charge, as you may have heard, has been led by our mayor, Mayor Amezcua. And so what we are currently working on with the agency administration and other city departments is to then be able to integrate 2 senior members, so senior citizen members, to the Parks and Rec Commission. So you'll have some company, soon. The recommendations that we have made to make this addition possible is obviously primarily that they be Santa Ana residents. Secondly, that they be at least 55 years of age. Third is that they be registered participants at one of our senior centers. Also that they be willing and committed to serve for a minimum of 2 years. That they have, the availability to attend your monthly meetings, but also most importantly, that they are more than willing and able to be an active advocate for seniors. So you'll be hearing more about the addition of these senior members to the commission soon, but we hope to have them on board sometime in the early fall, as I understand. Okay, and that's pretty much where we are at with senior services for the city. At this time, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. But again, I want to conclude with extending an invitation for you to come and visit both of our senior centers, not just on our special events, but on any given day, because I'm sure you'll enjoy your time there. And obviously, we'll love your feedback also. But any questions?
Thank you so much, Supervisor Lara, for your presentation. Very thorough. Do we have any comments or questions? Commissioner Diaz?
I do. First, I want to thank you for putting all this together. Our seniors matter, and sometimes we tend to forget them, or sometimes other, people might think, oh, I don't have nowhere to take them. So how do they contact? Do they go to the centers, or, how can I, let's say, for example, if I have a few seniors in the neighborhood, do I reach out to them and give them the address to the center, or is?
Well, ideally, we would prefer that they did come and visit the senior closest to their home, the senior centers, closest to their home, so they get more familiar as to what is offered, and then they can figure out what works best for them and what days and times then they would want to come. We're also more than open to sharing that information over the phone. So you have that information on your presentation for the address and phone number to each of our senior centers. But ideally, again, whenever a senior walks in through our facility, we give them a brief tour, and then we schedule a registration appointment for them, so that as soon as they're ready to begin attending either of our senior centers, we have all of their personal information, obviously for emergency situations, and so we know who to contact. But also so then we get a better understanding of what their needs are, and then we can either make recommendations or again, just make anything available to them at the senior center.
Okay, one more question. In regards to the, you mentioned the OCTA, in case some of them don't have transportation, do you know how can they contact OCTA?
Well, the program that we're offering is operated by the city. The funding that we use to operate that program comes to the city from OCTA, but the program itself is, operated by us. So that's part of the welcome and orientation that they receive. So if part of the needs that they have entail transportation, then we also offer the transportation services to them. But again, they must have meet the age requirement, which is 60 for transportation, and reside in the city of Santa Ana.
Thank you.
Sure.
Commissioner Zacarias Torres?
Good evening. Thank you for the presentation. If, say, Southwest Senior Center is closer to where I live, but I want to participate in the center in downtown, am I able to do that if I'm a senior?
Absolutely. And again, we can facilitate transportation if necessary. So there's no restrictions as to where you live and which center you want to go to. We actually have a lot of seniors that, depending on the activity, they'll go to both. They'll go to both. So yeah, there's no restrictions on whatever center they want to visit. All that we ask is that they do register at both facilities if they so choose. So that, again, we have their information in case of any emergencies.
Great, thank you. I'm looking forward to attending when I'm of senior age.
It's going to be a while, but we'll welcome you then.
But they're very lively. I've seen one of their parties and I'm looking forward to attending.
Perfect. Thank you.
Commissioner Wu, do you have any comments? I did have just some comments, Supervisor Laura. I like the picture of the special events where the folks are dancing. And so maybe if we can do some social media inclusion to kind of help like elevate some of that work, I think that would be great. I think I know maybe not all seniors are on social media, but younger folks that may know of their tia or their abuela that can be like, hey, this is happening here. I think that would be a good outreach strategy to kind of invite more folks in. For the excursion program, the senior excursion program, what are the how many folks on average have been attending each of the excursions?
So we assign one bus to each of our senior centers, and the bus has a capacity of 55 seats. So we send 2 of our staff members per bus, per excursion, and then we make the other 53 seats available to our seniors.
So it's like you said 55 per center. So it's like
Correct.
like 100 folks. Okay, that's great. I think that's I think our youth excursion programs are 100. I think they're jumping up to 200 now, I believe. And so this is great. In terms of the solicitation of locations, is it I would recommend like a museum or like our regional parks, or in terms of like what is a process to kind of select some of the like upcoming excursions?
Well, we definitely solicit and accept recommendations from our seniors, but through the years that we've had our experience in developing these excursions, we tend to go with what draws the most attention and interest. So as you heard, Old Town San Diego is, a senior favorite. The Orange County Fair is also another one that we'll be implementing soon. They love going to Santa Barbara for the day. And so we'll more than likely be bringing that excursion back relatively soon. Part of what we've recommended to them, but we're waiting to hear back if there's interest, is the presidential libraries. So the Nixon Library here in Yorba Linda and the Ronald Reagan Library in Simi Valley. The museums are also popular, and obviously we have our very own very good museum here in Santa Ana, but they can get there much easier. So we have done the California Science Center in LA in the past, and we're looking to add more. But again, we try to do most of these excursions based on the interest and or the feedback that we've received.
Great. No, thank you so much.
Would we contact you if we're interested in chaperoning?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. And I actually saw the video where you showed up one of the senior parties. It was a really lively video. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we partner with CAP-OC with this from the county?
I'm sorry.
Partnerships, CAP-OC?
No.
God, okay. And then I want the Assistance League with Santana. Growing up, you mentioned sponsoring gifts for Christmas. Growing up, that's we were poor, and I didn't know at the time. But my parents would be like, "Here, we're gonna go to the senior center here to pick up some gifts," and so I really appreciate that we're kind of offering that service for the seniors, because sometimes it's hard. And so it brought me back that memory that I hadn't thought in a minute. And I look forward to having 2 new commissioners. I think that's really great. Here it says, so I think Commissioner Diaz mentioned about having folks register. So I think to the extent that they just show up to the senior center to be a registrant, I think that's great. I know now having to consider, our attending monthly meetings, maybe going back and forth between, the senior centers or, maybe not having our meetings go too late, just because I'm trying to think about, like, I know that we offer transportation services, but and to some extent, folks may need transportation services to the Southwest Center or back here, or, vice versa. And I think it would be great if we could include on our agendas a separate item. I know currently Supervisor Pagano gives the updates on the senior centers, but to the extent that we can maybe decouple it and have a senior center, like a senior services report specific to kind of, or maybe having you here every month, or I think to the extent, so then that way it doesn't just get like, boggled down with too much information for Parks and Recs, a report. So just as a thought, I think it would be great to kind of have that separate.
Perfect.
I have no other comments or questions, but thank you so much, Supervisor Lara.
Yeah, well, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Great. Next on the is item 4. I'll now turn this over to Susie Fergenak, our city planner, parks planner, for a presentation on the parks tour. I've been working with Susie, and this actually came from Commissioner Nelson, who recommended a parks tour. And so, Susie, I'll hand it off to you for this presentation.
Thank you. Good evening, commissioners, Commission Chair Herrera. It's so good to see you all again. Get our little map up there. So I have a little map with some recommendations on where we could go. So we want to talk about locations and dates, and the amount of time we want to do this. So just starting at the top, Santa Anita Park seemed like a obvious choice because we've transformed it and probably would not recognize it. So we would like to give you a personal tour of that site. Cesar Chavez Campesino Park suggesting that we visit here because of the recent mini pitch that was installed. Number 3, King Street Park. This was the site that I think caused us to have the idea, or inspired Commissioner Nelson to recommend going out there and doing a parks tour. This is the little parcel off of Fairview Avenue on the west side that is an abandoned section of street that we're looking to transform into a little piece of a little pocket park. Santiago Park included on the list because of the big project that's under construction right now that's going to be wrapping up in the next couple of months. And then there are also a lot of future visions for that park that we'd like to share. Number 5, Ed Carruthers Park. Brand new park that we're adding to our system. Again, would like to, that seems like an obvious choice for us to visit. Memorial Park, we are kicking off a process to revisit the whole east side of that park, do a new master plan, and rebuild the aquatics facility there. So we thought this would be a good one to include on our tour so that we could talk a little bit about what we were thinking. Segerstrom Triangle, it was suggested that we stop by there. It's just right now a little grassy knoll that has some potential. So we thought we could stop there and have a conversation about that. And then the last site that we included here was Carl Thornton Park, to talk about all the things that are happening there now and in the year to come. So I don't know whether this is a tall order for a day I don't know how much time we want to allot to each site. Santiago Park is probably going to take a little longer than, say, a visit to King Street Park or Segerstrom Triangle. But here are my first thoughts on sites that we could visit. We tried to spread them around the city. So with that, I would like to, turn that back to you folks for some comments, questions, suggestions on sites and dates and times and et cetera.
Great. Thank you so much, Susie. You always do a great job. And I think, this would be a great time to offer up some dates. And Susie, I think we were maybe thinking like a 3-hour event, or what was the kind of recommended time you think?
I think we were thinking maybe 3 to 4 hours, maybe like on a Saturday morning.
Okay.
And I know we wanted to give the public some time to know that we are doing this and give everybody time to get it on their calendar and plan.
Great. So I think maybe a date in August, we were kind of discussing in terms of giving this would be a great meeting to provide staff feedback on a date. And then that way they can come back at the next commission meeting in June to finalize it with the graphic and we have substantial amount of time for the public to kind of come out. Is there any comments on the locations, on the amount of time? Does 3 to 4 hours sound great to you? Is there a date that works for folks? Commissioner Wu?
If we're looking for a Saturday, like it gives me enough time, August the 12th would be good. I am doing something on August the 5th, El Salvador Park. And then there's
We have August 12th.
if that's good for everybody.
Commissioner Diaz, Commissioner Zacarias Torres.
Yeah, that works.
And is King Park the new one that's being built off of Fairview, or is this?
Yes, that's a new little pocket park.
Yes, I would like the members to see this. This is inventive because it was a street that was closed down. And it's been an ugly sight, and now they're going to preserve it with the water filter, collecting water and benefit and adding some enhancing the neighborhood. Plus we're getting some extra murals in the neighborhood. So it's very nice.
Yeah, it'd be a nice opportunity to share some background on the project. And I know we went through an RFP process to bring in an artist to do the mural. So it'd be
It's
nice
in the
to.
middle of the neighborhood. I think that we're trying to encourage everybody to walk when you have good areas to walk in. And also we have the triangle parks that were across the street at the river in itself. That could be a whole walking tour in itself. So it's very creative.
Great, Susie. So I'm hearing August 12th, August 19th. Maybe those are some 2 dates. Right now, we just have 4 commissioners, but I'm hoping at the next meeting in June, we have a full commission to,
Okay.
decide on like a finalized date. But,
Okay.
Commissioner Zacarias Torres?
Is Carl Thornton Park the park that we have a park ambassador in?
Yes.
Do you think the park ambassador would be available as well so that we could meet the park ambassador?
We can definitely reach out there, see if she'd be willing to. Yes.
Interesting to hear a little bit about how the park ambassador position is going.
Sounds like a plan.
Great. Recording secretary, this would, if we would need to have quorum at this parks tour.
Thank you, Chairperson. So if this is to be counted as a meeting, it would be a special meeting, and yes, you would need to have a quorum for that as well. It would normally follow the same procedures that we do for any type of meeting that we hold.
Great. Okay. So this is great. Look forward to I think it would be great to have a graphic to kind of have for the public. I think it would be cute for them to kind of come out. In terms of transportation, are we able to kind of make our way through the parks ourselves, or would there be some sort of transportation for the commission or?
I think we can probably look into getting some vans, transportation for everyone. Yes.
Great, okay, thank you so
So I
much.
can,
Susan.
in June, speak to that, give you an update.
Great. Looking forward to it, Susie. Thank
Are
you.
we looking at all of these sites then?
I think up to you. I
Okay.
think I leave it up to you to kind of
Okay.
decide based on the 3 to 4 hour mark or.
Okay. Are there any of those sites up there that, any of you have a special interest in making sure that we include, or are we just going to try to fit them all in?
Like I said, the King Park would be very interesting, and I think if,
Okay,
the members would like to
for
see it.
sure.
Of course, Memorial Park is one of the oldest parks in the community, and like to see what the improvements could be in that area.
Okay.
Santiago Park, I think is great, coming along.
Looking forward to it.
Great. Thank you so much, Susie.
Thank you.
Great. Next on the agenda is informational items. No action is needed for the commission on these items. However, this is a time for the city staff to provide a brief summary of the reports and for commissioners to ask questions. Do we have, yes, our director Sternberg, library director Sternberg, to provide a library staff report?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Herrera and members of the commission. I just want to provide you with a brief report regarding library services for the month of May. So May is an exciting month. May is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So the library had a wide variety of programs and activities centered around this important month to celebrate Asian Americans and their contributions here in the United States. We had lots of great activities. Like I said, we had several author appearances by Erica Hayasaki, and we have one coming up on May 27th with Jackie Bong, where she will be talking about her new book and recounting her experience as a Vietnamese American here in the USA. Also, we had several dance performances. We've had some traditional Vietnamese dance performances, as well as a Polynesian dance performance by a local dance troupe known as Tupwa Productions. We also held our first Vietnamese English bilingual story time that was led by one of our own librarians here at the Santa Ana Public Library and was a big hit with the community as well. So we had a really nice turnout, and I think it was one of the first in maybe in the county as well. So we were excited to be able to offer that. Of course, we celebrate this important month every year. So we'll be back next year again with more programs and activities related to Asian American Pacific Islander Month. But we do have one last program coming up, even though it's not technically in the month of May. I'm thinking a bit about it a little bit as a related program. We are having something called Viet Book Fest on June 3rd from 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And we are hosting Viet Thanh Nguyen, who is a Pulitzer Prize winning author, and he will be moderating a discussion with several other authors that have written recent books on poetry. So it's a really exciting program. Viet Thanh Nguyen is well known, and like I said, has won a Pulitzer Prize for his work. So like I said, that will be June 3rd, 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the main library. Also, I just want to give another plug for our Zip Books program at the library. This program is the result of a grant that the library received for just a little under $10,000, and it allows anyone in the community to, get a book from us that we actually may not have. So if we don't have the book, you can go online, you can request this, and it will ship from Amazon directly to your home. When you are done with it, you just return the book book back and it gets added back into the collection for the entire community to use. So please spread the word. We have until the end of September to expend all of our grant funds. And after those grant funds are expended, like I have said in previous meetings, what will occur is that we're going to transition the grant program into a suggested purchase, because we believe that community-led collection development and hearing from what our community wants from our collection is an important way to stock our shelves with books and provide things to the community that they have an interest in, not just what we think they may have an interest in. So we're proud of that program and proud of what will happen after the grant funds are expended. And then finally, of course, we're going to be kicking off our summer reading program, 2023. The theme is called Find Your Voice. So join us this summer as we will have an exciting array of events, activities, and everything that will entertain, educate, and uplift our community. We're going to have special programs and performances throughout the summer. We have comedians, magicians, jugglers, animal shows, all kinds of stuff throughout the entire summer. You could sign up for this the library's summer reading program online through an application on our website called Beanstack, or if you prefer the old-fashioned method, you can come right on in the library and sign up with a staff member as well, and we'd be happy to help you. There will be all kinds of great gifts, prizes to be won, opportunity drawings, and things to help kids and people of all age enjoy their summer reading. So that is for the most part, sums up my report. Of course, as always, look for all of our programs and services coming up in the new edition of the Cultura that just came out very recently. You can get an update on our library's capital projects, as well as a variety of other programs and activities, including many of the ones that I have mentioned here today do appear in the Cultura. For the summer reading program, I forgot to mention that on June 1st, I believe it starts at 4:00 p.m. We're going to have a kickoff event right in front of the south entrance for our summer reading program. We'll have some booths out there promoting library services. There will be some free giveaways and ice cream for the community while supplies last. So join us on June 1st. I believe that begins at 4:00 p.m. And more information on that is also available in the Cultura and on the library's website. So with that, I'm here to take any questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Director
Thank you.
Sternberg. Yes. Do we have any questions or comments? Commissioner Wu?
I'm just glad to hear about the grant with what's going on in Florida and taking away the books and we bringing in the books and letting people read what they want to read and the
Absolutely.
history of what is going on. This is great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we're committed to intellectual freedom and the freedom to read at the Santa Ana Public Library. Absolutely.
Commissioner Diaz?
First of all, thank you so much for putting all this together. I'm very, very happy to see that the information is throughout social media. It's active, Instagram and Facebook, and it's easy to share. And, people copy and repaste. So I like it because, it connects more to people who have social media, who have Facebook. And yeah, thank you so much because it's also here in the magazine.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Commissioner Diaz. One of the most important things that we can do is tell our story and inform the community about, no pun intended, and tell our story. We're the library, but to inform the community about all the great activities and programs and services we offer.
And also it's awesome to see that you guys go live when you have, like the people who come to sign books and all that. That's good to see. Because at times, we want to really see what's there, and being live on Instagram or Facebook, it helps out.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Commissioner Torres?
Do we have a banned book section at the library?
We have had banned books displays. I think we had one just a few months ago, maybe about 6-7 months ago. So that is something we do that. We typically do that for there's like a banned books week or banned books month. And I can't remember what month and what week that is, but we do it every year. Yes, absolutely.
Director Sternberg, I went to the Dia de los Niños, Dia de los Libros
Yes,
event, and
yes.
it was quite a success. Seeing so many youth from around the city and the county, that came down, and I really just commend you for your work, and I do support. I believe there was a budget request to maybe increase that programming, because I think that's really great. I would support additional funding for that program, because it's so many folks came out. So I just want to congratulate you on, and your team on a great work on that event.
Thank you.
On the ZIP program funding, do you know a sense of like how many books folks have kind of utilized the program, or, I know I think last month you mentioned at the end of June, and so this month you into September, so I'm really happy that we have more time.
Yeah, we got a couple more months extension to finish up expending all of our grant funds. I think we're about 3/4 of the way there.
Okay,
So
that's
kind of
good.
getting through this last quarter is what the additional time will allow us to do. Yeah.
Right,
So
okay.
we're on track to spend it all by September 30th, and we want to make sure we do that.
God, okay, that was a worry. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to give the state back, but let's use those funds. So great to hear that. So thank you so much.
Thank you
Director.
so much.
Great. Now I think we have our next for Parks and Facilities report. We have our city planner, Susie Frigenek.
Hi again. On Wednesday of this week, the Trust for Public Land released the 2023 Park Score. And what that is the Trust for Public Land, if you're not familiar, is a nonprofit organization that operates nationwide. And they survey the 100 most populous cities in the country. And we're on that list. And every year we go through a process. They give us a survey to fill out, and there's a lot of data that we need to give them. And they plug that into a program that puts out metrics and ranks these cities. The goal of doing this is to help cities advocate for resources. So this year, it's a good tool for us to tell our story, advocate, and also measure ourselves and look for where, what are they looking at? That's, what we should be looking at, but we already know that because our park master plan tells us, and we already know. So we actually stepped up 5 spots since last year. We went from 95 out of 100 to 90. So we're heading in the right direction. We have a long way to go. A lot of work to do. We know this, but we're heading in the right direction. We want to build on the momentum. We want to dig in and really see what we need to do. There's 5 categories that they score us on. So I just wanted to take a few minutes to tell you a little bit about this, because it's important. Acreage, access, investment, amenities, and equity. And I apologize, this is in my report, but this just came out Wednesday and I didn't want to wait another month, but I can absolutely put something together if you would like. But in these 5 categories, acreage has to do with how much of our city is dedicated to parkland. Access is how walkable all our parks from neighborhoods. Investment is how much per capita do we invest in our parks. Amenities, they measure us on 6 park activities that they feel address a broad user group: kids, teenagers, adults, and seniors. So they look at how many basketball courts we have, dog parks, playgrounds, senior and recreation centers, permanent restrooms and splash pads. And then the last category they score us on is equity. How evenly distributed are the parks throughout the city, and how many parks do we have in the lower income and disadvantaged areas? So one of the reasons we moved up in the scales is because we increased our investment. We are hoping to continue to do that, but we're going to be looking at very closely at these other categories and be keeping this in mind over the course of the next year. I can only see these numbers going up next year because of what we currently have on the boards, like we like to say, underway. So I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful for the future. Anyway, wanted to share that with you. Since last month when I was here, my team submitted 4 grant applications. We submitted an application to the Metropolitan Water District, to their commercial turf replacement program, to remove turf and replace it with water-wise landscaping at the trailhead, or one of the trailheads to the Bristol Alton Bike Trail. We submitted an application called Clean California Program. It's through the California Department of Transportation for what we're calling the Walnut Street Urban Greening Project. And that's where we want to take a portion of Walnut Street next to Main Street it's part of the South Main Vision Plan. But we want to do something similar to what we're doing over at King Street, where we dedicate, we do a street closure and turn it into a public open space and do water capture, stormwater capture. We also submitted an application to the State Coastal Conservancy for Santiago Park Phase 2 construction. That's the section of Santiago Park from Main Street to the east to the log cabin. So our hope is once we finish completion of the gas house project, that we can keep that momentum going and turn our attention to the west and renovate that portion. We also submitted an application to an energy efficiency and conservation block grant to do lighting upgrade at El Salvador Park ball fields. So we're hopeful that we will be getting good news for that. Between now and next meeting, we plan to submit 4 more applications, possibly 5. We are very busy. We have 3 applications due on June 1st. Actually, 2 are due on June 1st, 2 are due on June 15th, and the 5th one is due on June 30th. I will speak to them in more detail next month once we have them submitted, but we're very busy at work going after dollars to continue our mission of improving our parks. 10th and Flower Park, today we kicked off design. We are officially underway. We have 2 projects that we're looking to advertise this month. The new park at Standard and McFadden Avenue will be publicly advertised for construction. That's going to get us one step closer to our groundbreaking and getting construction underway. So that will happen this month. We're also going to be advertising for bids 2 splash pads at Madison Park and at Thornton Park. So we're going to be getting that rolling. Of the projects that we have under construction, I want to highlight again the gas house. We're getting closer. I was out there today. We're still looking at July 1st. It's very exciting. It looks very good. What we decided to do today was do not an official opening, but an informal partial opening where there's a good part of the project that's substantially complete. The open areas, the picnic areas, the lawn areas. The purpose of opening it up is because we want our security team to be able to go through. Right now, it's all the fenced in area belongs to the general contractor and it's his responsibility to oversee it. But our team, our line security has been doing such a great job. We really want to enable them to get in there and provide surveillance. So the gas house still has some work to be done. The restrooms still have some work to be done. And the playground area still has a little bit of work to be done. So we're going to move the fencing around, fence those areas off, but at least open up the walkways so our security team can go through on a regular basis and so the residents can begin to enjoy it. Santa Anita Park, we're having a groundbreaking next Wednesday to celebrate the progress that we're making with the new community center that we'll be building. And Ed Carruthers Park is also making good progress. We're still looking at a July 1 completion with a ribbon cutting to take place sometime that month. And I just want to mention something about service enhancement contracts that we've been busy getting into place over the past year to support both the park maintenance wing and the park planning wing. So park maintenance has 8 key service contracts that are now in place. They relate to security, pool services, lake management, pressure washing, tree trimming, replacement of rubber surfacing in the playgrounds, sports court resurfacing, and maintenance of our synthetic turf areas. And so they are all in place now. We're utilizing them. 2 that I want to highlight in particular, replacement of rubber surfacing in our playgrounds and resurfacing of our sport courts is now underway. Going to be going systematically around the park system, and those will be very noticeable and welcomed improvements. Also recently put into place 10 on-call contracts with landscape architects. This is so that we can move quickly when we want to prepare concept designs or contract documents for construction. This is going to enable us to, we went through an RFP process. There are a lot of good firms out there. They all have something different to offer. They all have different areas of expertise. So whether it's a concept design, master plan, environmental studies, they have the gamut of services to offer us that will enable us to shorten the timeline and get moving on projects much faster than if we were having to go through a RFP process for every single project. So that's going to be super helpful to us going forward. With that, I think I will wrap up and open it up to you all for any questions or comments that you might have.
Any questions or comments? Commissioner Diaz?
Thank you so much, Susie. You have everything so well organized and explained. I just have a quick question.
Sure.
A couple years ago, if I recall correctly, 5 splash pads were approved. Do you know if the other 3 will be coming up anytime soon?
Yeah, they're still we have plans shelf ready. The goal was to get them all 100% ready for bid. Right now, we only have funding for 2. So we're looking at sites that currently don't have any water feature. So that's why we selected Madison and Thornton. But the intent, yes, is to do all 6.
Oh, okay. So there were 6.
Yeah,
were
the
approved?
6th site is the Santa Ana Zoo.
Oh, okay. But they were approved, right? About
Yes,
2
they
years
were
ago.
all approved. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Susie, I have a, or rather a recording secretary, if we can, the grand opening, I think it would be great to ribbon cutting to invite the commission, so then that way we're able to be present, for, I know you mentioned next Wednesday at Santa Anita and Ed Carruthers ribbon cutting ceremony, if that would be possible to invite the commission for those events.
Thank you, Chairperson. For the Santa Anita, we'll go ahead and email you some information on that. And when we do get a date set up for Ed Carruthers, then you guys will find out as well.
Great, thank you so much. I think it would be great for having a presence there. Susie, for the park maintenance, the 200 work orders that were submitted for May, traditionally, like, what are the major recommendation or, requests through the My Santana app?
Oh, tree trimming, fallen branches, broken valves in the restrooms. A lot of times they will report on construction related activities, but they're mainly related to things that are broken.
Well, that's great. I'm glad that folks are able to report like on things that may need to get fixed in the parks through the My Santana app. The other question that I have was, I know for during the Dia de los Libros, Dia de los Niños event, they were handing out trees to the public. And I believe that there's like some sort of third-party agency that tracks how many trees we have, throughout various cities. I asked them if the city of Santana was one of the cities that's like post this type of information. Is that like a service, or in terms of, I know that it has to do with having more trees. We may have a tree desert, because I know we live in a poor park city. And so to the extent that, is that a part of something that we track within the Parks and Recs department?
Yes. We currently have an agreement with West Coast Arborists to do our tree pruning. But as part of the contract, they're doing an inventory for us. And it's all mapped using GIS. One of the grants that we're going to be applying for on June 1st is through the National Forest Service. We're going to be applying for funds to do an urban forestry plan. That is something that's mentioned in the open space element and the Parks Master Plan. And we want to do just that. We want a urban forestry plan that it's going to have a tree care component and a tree protection component, but it's going to go beyond that. It's going to be a plan for the urban forest. We want to zoom out and we want to look at the whole canopy. And it's going to speak to, its care, its management, its preservation, and how we can build upon it.
That would be great. I think overlapping that information with the temperature, I know that where there's less trees, it's more hot.
Yes.
So
yeah, we'll be looking closely at those environmental justice communities in particular.
great. I look forward to maybe emailing you or being in communication a little bit about this.
I'll look forward
West
to
Coast Starburst.
that.
Thank you
Okay.
so much. I have no other comments. Thank you so much, Susie.
Oh, thank you all so very much.
Great. Now I think for our zoo report, we have Ethan Fisher, a zoo manager.
Hey, good afternoon. Well, good evening now. I just have a few updates about the zoo over the past month and what's coming up. Usually start with some animal updates. So I have a few different things in the report. We are bringing in a new guanaco in the near future. So that is the South American wild ancestor of a llama. So we have a grasslands habitat where we have the guanacos, and we're looking forward to bringing him in. If you haven't been back to see the butterflies yet, they are flying daily. And we have a few of these moths from Asia. It's one of the world's largest invertebrates, but they're about this size. They're massive Atlas moths, so they're beautiful to see. But we have butterflies from Africa and Asia and South America. It's very relaxing to go through there. I had a note talking about animal training a little bit, and we have a consultant that comes out once or twice a year, and she works with our team on animal training because we have a lot of behaviors that we're working on where we train the animals to assist themselves in their own medical care. So when you're working with wild animals, anything that you can do that makes it less stressful for the animal, less dangerous for the staff, easier, less expensive to do it. That all comes down to animal training. And if we can sometimes train an animal to go into a transportation crate, then we could take it to the hospital and we could do an exam. If you follow us on social media, we're going to be making a post in the near future about some of the medical procedures we do. We just did one this past week on the sloth. It's really interesting to see the sloth get its general exam that it gets every couple of years, but it all comes down to animal training, and that's part of being a modern zoo facility. So also, we reopened our bird aviary this past month. It was closed for the highly pathogenic avian influenza that has been going on throughout the world over the past year. And we were just taking some precautionary steps to protect our birds. But based on the data that we have, we decided to reopen the aviary. So it's nice to walk through there again. I know the public missed that quite a bit. Still quite busy with school field trips, but it is winding down. Definitely almost every day during the week, we have 400 to 500 kids overwhelming the zoo. If you come for a Thursday morning and you're not expecting that, and you just see 10 buses and 500 children, it's a little bit crazy. But by noon, they sort of clear out. But school, as the elementary year wraps up, then we'll transition to summer camps that will come and visit. One thing that I skipped over, I wanted to highlight the zoo as a bird sanctuary. As Susie was talking about the urban forest, not only does it provide cooler temperatures for the human residents that live in the city, but it also provides habitat for wildlife. The zoo is a little piece of our urban forest in Santa Ana and provides habitat for native species like hawks, other birds of prey, for the wild parrots that live here, all different songbirds that migrate through. And it's nice to walk around the zoo. We have a hawk that has a nest and little chicks, and you wouldn't think about that in the middle of the city, but it does exist. And I usually mention it every month, but we have different employment opportunities, part-time jobs. There's 2 full-time jobs posted right now, and always volunteer opportunities. Event-wise, this past Sunday was the Santa Ana Resident Day for the month of May. It also coincided with Party for the Planet, which was our endangered species and Earth Day event. We had different vendors. The water department was there. We had many other groups that had demonstration tables. We work with the UC Master Gardeners. They were giving out vegetables and talking about gardening and doing vegetable gardening at home. So that was a really well attended event. We had almost 2,500 people on Sunday. Also, another event that we rolled out with some of the different community centers is the Nature in Action program, and that has been going on, where zoo educators go to the community center and we do a number of different nature activities with the kids. We bring animals, and we have a few more weeks of that going on, I believe. Coming up in June, the zoo is one of the sites for the Movies in the Park. We're hosting Zootopia. On June 23rd, there'll be activities for the family before the event. There's bounce houses and things, and then the movie will show when it gets dark. And this is the first time we've done one of the Movies in the Park at the zoo, so that should be an exciting night. Lots of construction is going on still. A variety of different maintenance projects. There's construction for the otter continues, for the goat project. We've been doing some behind the scenes projects, like we're still working on our ticketing system so that we can start to sell online tickets and event tickets easier. We're also about to wrap up a RFP process for hiring an architectural firm to design a new education and community building that we had some grant funding for. Working on a pathway and accessibility project to make the zoo easier to walk. And then working with the water department because they have a project in our parking lot related to their water well that they have there. Also, going on past the movie event that is in June, come July, we have just started selling tickets for Brew at the Zoo. That's on July 28th. Is 21 and over. It should be a very, very fun event. It's a Friday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and $65 for Santa Ana residents and members, $75 for the general public. We'll probably have somewhere between 15 and 20 different craft breweries represented. You get a commemorative glass when you come in. You can sample all the different beers. There'll be food for sale and some entertainment. And this is the first time that we've done an event like this. So very excited about that one. We're still planning that. And rolling past Brew at the Zoo, we go into Zoofari, which is our big fundraising gala every August. And then the last thing I'll leave with is we always have different donation opportunities at the zoo. There's opportunities to purchase commemorative bricks, adopt animals, and all that money. Those funds go back into the zoo through our foundation, the Friends of Santa Ana Zoo. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions, Commissioner Wu?
Yes, your gala in August, when's the date and how much is that?
It's August 19th, and I want to say it's $395 a ticket, but I don't remember offhand.
155?
Yeah, so but it is fully a donation.
Okay.
I did see the Brew at the Zoo post on our Instagram, and I thought that was great. I'm glad that we're getting promotion for it. And there's a lot of sponsors. I think if you click on it, it starts showing you some sponsors and things like that. So I did see that there was a separate item that would be updated for parking. Is there like a parking cost?
There's going to be a $25 fee for parking, and part of the reason for that, one is we have limited parking, and the other is to encourage people to ride share, to use Uber and Lyft. We thought that if we made parking that much, it would encourage people just to take a Lyft, which is really the preferred thing for an event like that. So we tried to be responsible. We do have a parking fee, but that's the reasoning behind it.
I have great promotion on that. I think that would be great to like step with that, and then that way, I think I'm going to be there, and so I was thinking about like the parking, so or how I was going to get there, and then get back home.
Yeah, especially we're hoping to get a lot of Santa residents and folks that are local to the area, so then they're not coming from 25, 30 miles away, and transportation is hard. If you're only 2 miles away, it's less of a burden.
And the $75 ticket, I think, includes, I saw sampling, or what would the $75 include?
So the $75 includes your admission for the 4 hours. You will get a commemorative glass that has a logo on it, and that's what you'll use to sample the beer at all the different breweries that have stations set up. As much as you'd like. And then we'll also have entertainment throughout the zoo, and then we'll have special different animal interactions or activities planned. And we're still sorting out the food situation right now, but we probably have food trucks with food for sale for people that want a substantial meal.
Great. Okay. No, that's exciting to hear. So it's I guess drink as you can with the cup.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, great. Great fundraiser and fundraising idea. I think will bring out.
Yeah, the other zoos that do that locally, like LA and Santa Barbara, they usually sell out their tickets.
And there's a limited amount of tickets for sale?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Well, that's get your tickets sooner rather than later.
Incentive to get your tickets early.
And The Zootopia is gonna be at that open space.
It
next
will.
to the parking
There'll
lot.
be some activities that are actually out in front of the zoo. And then that movie will be shown in that space, the
Got it, okay.
amphitheater space.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Welcome.
Zoo
You're
Manager.
welcome.
Oh, yeah.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
For the movie, do they gotta pay for?
The movie is free.
watch? The
Yeah.
movie's free?
Yeah, there's free. All the
Okay.
activities are free and the movie is free.
Okay, another quick question that I have, it's in regards to parking at times, on Sundays, there's no parking, but how do you guys manage the parking, excuse me, the front section of it? Because I was able to see that some of that parking was being used mainly by the residents around the area, not by
Yeah.
visitors.
That is a balance we have because of the location of the zoo is such an urban area with so many apartments around us. We do open the parking at 9 a.m. typically, so that we can try to have the lot empty for the visitors when they start to come to the zoo. But certainly it is open parking lot. We don't charge for parking fees. So if there are people that are coming and parking during the day, it's hard to prevent that. And then on really busy days, it does fill up. We have a dirt overflow parking lot, which in the future we hope to have paved or striped, which will enable us to park more cars in it. Because right now with the dirt, cars park 5, 6, 7 feet away from each other, which really limits the number of cars that can fit out there. We also have lost a little bit of parking because part of it's being used as a staging area for some of the construction.
So in the future, is there any plan to, to work together in regards to, the neighbors not, or just parking there from, let's say, 6 p.m. to 8 a.m.? Is there something in the works for the future that? would be
There's
easier?
been different things discussed in the past about how the balance of parking with the neighborhood needs for parking in that area, and then also the visitors to the zoo and their needs. But no one parks in the lot. No one is parking overnight and then staying there the whole day. That doesn't happen.
But I'm
So
saying that maybe perhaps that might be a suggestion to just allow them to park, let's say, once the park closes to before the park opens,
It-
if.
yeah, it's something that we would have to look at with as part of a whole parking plan. Because also the other thing that makes it a little bit more complex is most of the apartments right next to the zoo are all the city of Tustin. So they're actually not Santa Ana residents that are parking there.
Oh, how about, paying before going
Yeah.
in?
It's something that we definitely can look at again,
Mhm.
because there is definitely a parking need.
Mhm.
And if there's a way to balance that and help generate revenue and help people out, then that could be a really good benefit for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no Tustin residents, please park at our Santana Zoo.
It's
please.
hard. We're right at the edge of the city there.
Okay, thank you so much, Zoo
Okay.
Manager.
Thank
Yes.
you.
We don't have our Parks and Recs manager, Tim Pagano, here. But we do have our executive director to give the report on the community services staff report for Parks and Recs.
Hey, everybody. Like I said, if I were to talk about everything we got going on, we'd be here for a couple more hours. So I'm just gonna highlight through each section and then talk about, what we got coming up and stuff like that. And, I'll elaborate a little bit on our senior centers. One, did a great job, did a great thing. And one of the things I did wish you mentioned is, back on May 5th, we had a Senior of the Mile salsa making contest where we had 12 senior citizens, compete. And I got to go out there and, a lot of them, say the recipes are handed down from generation to generation. So that's a lot of fun. And I wish Brian was still here. We've been doing some tech explanation is what we call it, to get our, seniors more tech savvy with that. So we have a number of dates we've been doing along with them, which has been a lot of fun. So they're learning. One thing I did want to point out, coming up in June for our seniors is out at the Senior Center downtown, we will have a health and wellness talk with Dr. Martin and over glucose and blood pressure screenings, which will be provided by Amistad. So it's a great way for them to get out there and get a little health screening for free. And also at the Southwest Senior Center, I'll be doing a migraine and headache workshop. So that's always fun events for them. And they got their Father's Days coming up, and I said both centers do that tech explanation, which is a lot of fun. One of the, he was talking about senior transportation. The next one I do have coming up, they'll be going out to Walmart and to the El Super shopping center. So again, those have become really fun. And something I did forget to mention as part of our budget coming up, we will be adding 3 drivers to that. So we're going to be able to have some more where we can go pick up the seniors, take them places, stuff like that. So we're really excited that our city council, our mayor, and then the powers to be above me have been very, very supportive on what we do. Out into our recreation side, and I'm glad he's here. Mr. Bill Sandoval, you guys have had a chance to go out to the El Salvador, the kids' night out. It has been a huge success for out in that neighborhood. And this recent one, the next one they have coming up, they have, I believe, over 70 registered so far. The previous ones have been selling out. And it makes me remind me back to the first time they did it. And to be honest, they had 2 people show up. Staff was a little disappointed, but again, we still took care of those 2 kids. And I'm gonna say, watch, this thing's gonna grow. And then boom, next one we doubled, and then the third one we sold out. So to what he's doing out there at El Salvador, plus the thing they do around the community is great. The Salgado Center, does so many great things with the open gym, aerobics, Zumba, Teen Hub, Teen Excursions, Art Academy, and then we also partners with our friends over there at OTAC that offer free classes out there. Ukulele, guitar classes, dance classes, drawing. So there's so many youth programs we have going on in the city that we're trying to expand to let our teens know. So I know it's been brought up in a couple of our council meetings, hey, we need, teen center, but if people come to our teen center, there's a lot of things going on for kids of all ages, from our teens to our young adults, as well as to our, our adults, with the open gyms and even them just hanging out with the kids and, acting like a kid, doing some of the programs with them. So just wanted to highlight that. They're doing a great job. Our teen excursion teen excursion program, sorry, not a problem. It's a great problem, actually. It has expanded and gone beyond our expectations. And something we've added, I know we've talked about, is they're going out and doing the fun stuff. They're going to your Disneyland, they're going to the zoos, they're going to Universal Studios, which they just did, but we've added an education element into it. So coming up, they have the trip to UCI, where they're going to go to college, learn some things. They recently had a trip to the fire station. They went and visited Ethan out at the Santa Ana Zoo, and not just to see the zoo, but they went behind the scenes, to talk to some of the keepers, learn, how does the operation of the zoo go on? So we've really been expanding that. So that's been fun. The Jerome Center, right at Smacktown, our recreation classes, we have karate going strong. Our TAKO partners are out there doing boxing. And, we've been partnership with OC on the first Wednesday or Friday of each month. We are been providing nutrient-rich food, for a monthly food package for low-income seniors. April, our food box distribution was 361. This month, they're about on pace to probably go over that. So it's really a great program out there. Our Roosevelt Academy, so many fun things going out there. It's also the site on one of our more popular gardens. But again, they're offering things out there, wine dance, ukulele. We have an early start preschool program out there with OTAC that does really well. So, I guess I can just highlight over and over. And of course, our PAL program out there does really well. And we're very proud of, the partnership we have with Santa Ana PD in that. And then, of course, the upcoming one we're going to have at Santa Anita, and then see where we can expand that through Parks and Recreation and them. So we're really, really great about that. And, Logan Community Center, Chipas Park, we still go out there and do a drop-in play every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. That place is about to get a nice little renovation, update to the park, to the community center, to, do some more and more things. So I want you guys to forget about that. And something I'm very, very excited to talk about is aquatics. Aquatics is back starting next week for us, so like I said, we start our open recreation swim on June 5th. Like I said, hiring again, it's the aquatics industry. It's been tough, but we have managed to get, a number of lifeguards out there, to, where we can open the pools, offer swim lessons and, try to do some private things, for families if we can. One of the great things I want to highlight about this is within the first 48 hours, when it came to the swim lessons, we had 167 Learn to Swim participants sign up. Out of those 167, we had 17 that were scholarship recipients. So there are ways, get that program paid for through an application we do have online. Like I said, we partner with American Red Cross. We have a grant with them to offer free swim, if families qualify. So we do encourage people to, check that out. And like I said, we're going to make our swim levels so much fun. We have different, different age groups, as you can see there, and we give them fun names. We got the big fish, little fish, which are age 3 months to 3 years, which are with the parents, then our preschool aquatics, we got the jellyfish, and then Learn to Swim. We have 3 levels for ages 6 to 17, the pufferfish, the sea turtles, and we want to tie it in with our zoo, our river otters. So we did something like that. I know something you guys have brought up in the past is, what's it cost to go for the free swim? So these are our prices for this year. For Santa Ana residents, 17 and younger, it's $1 daily. Well, let me track back. Our full season is going to be from June 5th to August 12th. All right. Santa Ana residents, 17 and younger, it's $1 to go per day, or if they want to get a season pass for the whole year and it's good for all the pools, it's $15. Seniors, 55 and older, $2 daily or a $20 season pass. Adults, $3 daily, $25 season pass. For anyone that's non-residents that come in, we do have a non-residence rate, 17 younger, $2, $20 season pass, seniors, $4, $25, and adults, $6 and $30. So, we have a, good price range. And again, we're very, very low compared to other cities in Orange County and Southern California. We keep our prices down. If you guys have all received our Cultura, it is volume 3. Again, if you guys check it out, a lot of great information there for Parks and Recreation, the Santa Ana Zoo, as well as our public libraries. And again, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. If you guys have collected them all and see this one's thicker. It's a little bit thicker because it's our summer edition. So we are so excited. Corey, Hiram, Oscar, and the rest of the Parks Rec team have just blown that out of the water. It is great. And as the name says, Cultura, represent the culture that we have in our city. And you can see that by all the beautiful colors, beautiful pictures, and how we've just all encapsulate that in our magazine for the community. So like I said, people can go to our website and actually sign up to get one of these mailed to their houses. Or if they go online, there's the digital version, which is also in English as well as Spanish. So that's a fun thing. I share it, pass it. We're doing our best. And last but not least, I know there's just so many things. I want to brag about our community gardens. We had all that rain. We had all, just dumping on us. And these gardens have flourished. Just in April alone, so we got Roosevelt, we got Jerome, we got the Pacific Electric, Madison, El Salvador. We've had over 500 participants together that have visited all the gardens. And again, I see you, Ms. Torres, shaking your head. If you see them, they're really great. They're a lot of fun. Veronica and Rudy, they do a phenomenal job. So hats off to what they're doing. And if you guys get a chance, go hang out with the kids and see what they're doing. It's great. And then the last thing I want to touch on is a couple more things. I highlighted things. Something I know chairman loved, our Wilderness Club. So we got those, still upcoming, just some things that are coming up. June 15th, we got our enhanced whale watching trip. July 11th, they'll be visiting the Urban Ranch Convergence Safari and Service through Project Weir Canyon. July 25th, they will go back out there with the Limestone Canyon, and then a fun one coming up in August. They're going to be visiting the Crystal Cove State Park, which is very, very nice. And then out in September, the Tucker Wildlife Sanctuary. So we encourage people to sign up early. They're a lot of fun, and they, like I said, they just keep growing. And our council has been so gracious enough to give us some more funding that we are, expanding that, as well as our teen excursion. We're doubling both of them. So this one's going to jump up to 40, and then our teen excursion is going to jump from 50 to 100. So, it's great just to have that support from the community and our elected officials and everything. And then just want to touch base on our athletics department. For the month of April, we have given out over 1,600 permits. So our athletic field policy is working, is doing what it's supposed to do. It's giving everyone an opportunity to be able to have exclusive use to our fields, to be able to rent them, to be able to have, lights on it and when they needed to. So we're very happy how it's working. But again, as we move through that policy, we always want to tweak it, and we're always open for suggestions from the community, from our independent leagues, stuff like that. So we're very proud of how that's been going through. And then last but not least, our special events. Currently, we are planning, and this is what we're into. We got the Movies in the Park, which will start this week, next Friday. We've got our Juneteenth celebration coming in Centennial Park in 3 weeks. Our summer concerts will start in a couple weeks. We got a July 4th out there at Centennial. Our Chicano Heritage Festival, which we are super excited about. We're also going to introduce a cruising element for, we'll reach out to some of our local car dealers like shit, and we'll be driving around cruise at a cruising element, where, we do it safe, we do it fun, we'll get like an escort around, and which will lead into our Chicano Heritage Festival. So we're really excited about that. And then of course, our major festival, the Fiesta Patrias. Biggest thing about that is we are bringing back the parade. We've already started meeting on that. So we're really excited to bring that back down. So again, there's so many things happening with us, and I'll leave it to you guys. If you guys have any questions, I can best answer. But again, so much going on in Parks and Recreation, the Santa Ana Zoo, Susie and her team with the library and Brian. And then of course, all our supporting, departments out there with us, Public Works, planning. I mean, it takes the whole team to allow us to do what we do.
Any comments or questions from the commission? Commissioner Diaz?
I just want to thank your team for everything that you guys are doing. This is fantastic. Everything, like the great team.
Thank you.
It's a lot of different activities for everyone, and I really enjoyed the 5K, 10K. That was really, really fun too. And, I'm really happy that you guys are taking care of all the events, and you're doing a great job organizing them and inviting people. So you're doing a great job.
Yeah, and thank you. And you mentioned about the 10K, 5K, and something we've been doing as we go into our events. Looking for sponsorships, looking for donations. And Northgates was a great, partner in that, as well as the United Cross Borders when they had the fun beer garden for the runners across. That was a lot of fun. So we were always looking how to include everybody in our events. From our children to our adults, make it fun, to make it safe. So thank you for that. And the staff is grateful. And like I said, we're very blessed and thankful to have a really good team that cares, that's dedicated, that wants to show up to work. And you'll see that in a lot of cities, but here there's that sense of family that we have, and I enjoy it. So thank you.
Commissioner Zacarias Torres?
For the teen excursion and the wilderness trips, do past participants get invited to future events?
Like, what do you mean?
Like as they're coming up, do they also get like an email blast? This is coming up.
Yeah, so Bill can elaborate on that one.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yes, for a lot of our excursions that we do actually let them know ahead of time of the other excursions that are coming up and when they will be available for people to register on a first come, first serve.
Okay, thank you. And then for the wilderness trips, have we considered different pickup locations at different community centers?
I think
that was something that was being asked before.
Yeah, I think it's an opportunity that we have been looking at as the program has evolved and grown. We have been talking about that, but that's something that, will be coming up.
Thank you.
Thank you for mentioning that, Commissioner Zacarias Torres. I think that's important. Commissioner Wu?
Yes, I enjoyed that you have all the concerts for this summer and also the movie nights. That way we stay in Santa Ana. I like doing that. Are we going to have any food trucks on this or any other activities?
Well, yeah, it'll be just the same. We'll have some food trucks. We'll have the jumping. We'll have some vendors out there and, giving out some flyers, some goodies. Ethan and his team will be out there. And yeah, it's gonna be very similar to last year, but like I said, we're always trying to see how we can improve it. And, like I said, as maybe go into the following budget year, we'll see if we can get some additional funding. Like I said, we're going to a period of time where, our economy's, juggling right now. So, we're being mindset to make sure we can, produce, at least, like I said, we're gonna have 7 movies in the park. And the great thing is we're introducing the zoo into this as well, which I think is very important because people don't understand how much is going into the zoo right now, all the construction. I mean, we've got we forgot to announce that one thing. You want to do it next? You want to come up? Ethan's actually got an announcement that we'd like to share, and it's something, he and I were very passionate of when I first started. And I know gets a little shy about it, but it just shows. No, it's exciting. And Ethan, I'll let you have the honors on that one.
So one of the things that has sort of a bit of history with the zoo, if you're familiar with the zoo's founding, did come as a donation from Mr. Prentice, and one of the stipulations on the zoo was a stipulation that we always had to have 50 monkeys on site. Obviously, that was in 1952, quite a few years ago. So we did work with the family to address that stipulation to remove it, because we're trying to not have monkeys at the zoo, because that is always our history, and we want to do that. We're trying to build a primate forest, and that's really important to us. But just because 7 decades later, it's not quite interpreted the same. We want to support conservation of primates. We want to focus on their well-being and their care, and really shine them in the best light possible. And to do that, that's what our focus is, not a number. And the way you maintain animals in 2024 or 2023 and going into the future is just not the same as you did it in the 1950s. So that is one change that we wanted to highlight. It's a little bit of a big change, but it doesn't change how we do things and putting the animals first in their care.
I don't know if he really said it. So basically the 50 monkeys deed is no longer going to be required there at the Santa Ana Zoo. The heir to the Prentice family was gracious and happy and very proud of how we've kept that going. And he has removed that from the deed. So like Ethan says, it's going to allow us to, keep the focus of the monkeys, but at the same time, we're going to, looking at our zoo master fund, we'll to bring in other animals. And, one of the things coming in is, the giant river otters. We're really excited about that. And, we want you guys to get a chance to go see the zoo, to see the construction, to see the progress, as well as the goats. And so that's something I had to throw it out there because it's something we've really wanted to work on. And when I first got there, and I guess there's also another thing too, if you want to give a little update on
Sure.
that.
Another item we may be bringing before you in the near future, just to request your support is, if you haven't seen just recently, Caltrans, they have been installing some animal silhouettes across the street from the zoo. We have beautiful banners as you get off the freeway, but we're also looking at the roadway next to the zoo, Elk Lane, and maybe we can change the name of that to Zoo Lane to really, as you get off the 5 North coming to the zoo, you see the banners, you see the artwork, you see the zoo entrance, you go onto Zoo Lane, and that really sets the tone as you're approaching the zoo as this whole experience. So that's something that we're also looking at.
And just to continue on that, it's not just Elk Lane, it's getting off I-5, Marbury Street. There's no business on it. There's nothing. We want to create off of the freeway Zoo Lane that takes you to the zoo. And if we were able to get this approved, we have even talked about actually changing the zoo's address to be Zoo Lane, which would be, because right now it's a weird.
We sit on
address.
Chestnut Avenue, but we're really on both streets. And there's a precedent with that in some other communities where there's a Zoo Drive or a Zoo Lane. That's what the LA Zoo has. When you're on the 5, you see that. So it's not uncommon. It's a little bit of recognition and branding. And it's kind of if you're the 6-year-old and your parents are getting off the freeway at Zoo Lane, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, and then again, we're gonna be working with Caltrans to be able to change the we'll have Zoo Lane up on the big green there's, and then the Santa Ana Zoo exit sign, we want to change that over to brown to, represent, brown, stands for, recreation. The Bowers Museum has it, in national parks have that color. Our new park signs coming are going to be brown, to represent, hey, these are parks, these fall in with national parks, federal parks. So we're really excited, and we've got a great start on that. And I'm sorry to put you on the spot there,
Okay.
Ethan, but and also one of the fun things we're gonna do with it is, with our street signs, if you look at them all, they're green, and they got the Santa Ana logo. We actually have got the blessing from our public works director to put our new zoo logo up there too. So I think it'll be 3 signs that are affected that'll have, because I know we have a signal sign coming soon on Chestnut and will hopefully be Zoo Lane. So they will all have, the logo that's on my chest, on my shoulder here up there instead of the Santa Ana, to really push the promotion of our Santa Zoo. Because as I said, Ethan and his team, they've all got such big hearts and dedication. I mean, Ethan himself, hope he's alive for it. He's been there since the early 2000s, and he's put in so much time, and you see it in his work, you see it in his team, and what they're building out there. So kind of want to put him on a spot in those 2 things, because I was like, oh, wait a minute. So, but yeah, so just stuff like that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ethan.
For those updates, Commissioner Diaz?
I just have a quick comment.
Mm.
Did the Prentice family require any amount of number of monkeys to have?
Yes, they required to have 50 at all times. That was the original, like it even
Yeah,
said,
the before one, but now, in the future now,
no.
no.
There is no requirement, but as long as we keep the history of, again, like Ethan said, monkeys are gonna be our primary focus.
Mhm.
But now, we don't have to have 50, and
Uh-huh.
we can eliminate all those stories of, I've heard so many stories, and I'm sure you guys have heard, oh, well, they've got 10 in the freezer, or they've,
I don't know,
I've heard some, I was like, no, that's not right. So, and you guys are all laughing because I'm right, but again,
We don't have 10 monkeys in our freezer.
no, we
Um,
don't.
Commissioner Wu, did you have any comments?
No,
Any additional comments?
Yeah, the last comment I wanted to make is, it is a great idea to change it to Sioux Lane, especially because the Elks got their,
Yes.
their sign changed over on South Lion. So great job, you guys have done.
Yeah, and Ethan actually shared an email with me today from the Elks, just the Elks, right? The Elks, they in full support of it. Because like I said, yes, there's history, but at the same time, Santa Ana has 2 Marbury lanes that are separated, 2 Elk lanes that are separated. So we're trying to, bridge that gap. And like, as we were talking about earlier, there's more history with the zoo than there, I'm not trying to knock the Elk logs, but at that location, there's more history with the zoo there. And like I said, the Elks are able to take their name with them too, and they got a beautiful facility. So again, like I said, with tradition, and, we just really want to be a statement, and people know, like, hey, yeah, we have Parks and Recreation, but hey, come visit our zoo too, man. It's going places. It's great, and it's awesome to, I said, go look at that Jurassic Park butterfly Ethan's got in there right now, which is, if I'm saying it's big, because I'm a big guy, I'm just like, wow, that's a big butterfly. So.
The only comments I had, Executive Director, were for our cooling center graphics. If we can have some sort of information
Okay.
or movies in the parks. I know it's coming up, and so, a flyer, just letting folks know in the case that it does get hot beyond this certain point, we would activate our cooling centers.
Yes.
And so if we can have that ready by the movies in the
Okay.
parks, that would be great. Great. Okay, thank you so much for the report. Next on the agenda are commissioner comments. So this is the time for each of the commissioners to provide comments if they wish, but not required. We can start with Commissioner from Ward 2, Commissioner Zacarias Torres.
Thank you for all of the updates and reports. I am glad to see that our Santa Ana City parks have gone up from 95 to 90, hoping to see it move up in the next coming years. And I'm also glad to see that there is still a collaboration with the community gardens and the zoo in picking up camel manure from the Santa Ana Zoo. And I also wanted to mention that I missed the Cinco de Mayo event that the city used to have, because I remember going to those and seeing a lot of kids go on the rides. And it's something that always brought a community feel to it. So hopefully there are plans to bring it back, because I miss seeing kids running around at the fair.
Great. Commissioner Wu, representing Ward 5.
I don't have very much to say because I'm very impressed with what's going on, and I'm very happy. As you know, I like to participate in the summer programs with the concerts and the movie nights. I think it's very important for families to have those events and to do it together. I know you have programs just for kids or just for seniors, but this is something that is done the whole family and activities that doesn't cost anything if you don't buy any food. But I'm really happy to see all these events. So thank you very much.
We have the mayoral representative, Commissioner Diaz.
Again, like I said it before, you guys are doing an amazing job, from, library services to Parks and Recs to the zoo. I mean, I'm very, very happy, and I see how active you guys are again in social media and also in paper. And I just wanted to suggest that perhaps maybe going to the different neighborhood associations meetings to kind of just, give a brief presentation as to what your services are, because sometimes the neighbors get so busy into what's happening in their neighborhood that they tend to forget all the beautiful things that you guys have available for the whole city. So I just, maybe reach out or drop off some flyers, just at least.
So we have been making an effort to get out to neighborhood associations. I've gone, Tim Pagano's gone, Susie goes a lot. So we've been, trying to work with them and working through Margarita to, try to get out there and, give out some information, some updates. And so we're trying to make a better effort to do that.
Or at least drop off some flyers or.
Yeah, when we do show up, we bring flyers and, we try to go all out what we can.
Yeah, sometimes neighborhood associations are like, oh, we're so busy in our agenda, which I understand, because
Gotcha.
they have a lot of items that they need to take care of. But at least, just to give you guys like 5 minutes or just a few minutes just to present it. And my other question was, will Parks and Recs be taking care of all the different events? I saw it like the Fiestas Patrias. Would there be rides like Ms. Commissioner Zacarias mentioned, like?
Yeah, so Fiestas will probably have the same stuff. We'll have the carnival on the one side.
Okay.
We're gonna, be incorporate, the car show again, some great events. So we're always trying to see how we can get bigger and better and make it fun and, and enjoyable for everyone, for the adults, for the kids, and, make it, a fun and safe environment. So we're always looking, and like I said, we're gonna be trying to what you're talking about, you're talking about Cinco de Mayo. We're also reaching out and doing other events too. Like we're looking to do a TET festival. The Mid-Autumn was such a huge success last year. We're bringing that back, and then we got our Chicano has just gotten, I mean, we're so proud of how that's gone. And like I said, we got a Juneteenth and we're trying to go full in like that. And, so again, we're always looking to what we can do, but, working within our budget. And that's one of our big things where we're trying to reach out for sponsorships and donations and help from the community too, because we do have that package out now that we made. So like I said, there's a lot of things in the works and a lot of good things that are going to be coming.
One suggestion for the different booths, that are available to the different vendors. Will the city be the one, taking charge as to the pricing of the booths and,
Yes.
like leasing them out? Because that could help a little to generate a little bit of income.
Yeah, so our supervisor has a list and we compile lists and we try to spread around to be fair to work with all our local Santa Ana vendors to get them out there so they can sell their goodies, their foods and stuff like that. And also to make sure they're in compliant with, all, the health code, because again, we want this to be fun. We want it to be safe and we want to make sure that everyone has the correct permits out there. So we help them all and walk them through the process and the permit process, so like that. So yes, we're gonna have all that out there.
That's really good. And just my last one, is there a particular site that you guys are looking at for the different events? Let's say, for example, the Chicano, and because you're mentioning that you're gonna have a car show.
Yeah, and like I said, as we're going into event planning, we'll take feedback from the community. We'll take about, what did we do last year? How can we make it, safe? How can we, try to expand if we can? There's a lot of different elements that go into it, and we do that in the whole planning process.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
I will now provide my commissioner comments. I want to, next week, we have the kickball playoffs at Jerome Park. It's going to be at 6 p.m. and 6 to 8 p.m. So come out and see the teams play. There's a Parks and Recs team. Folks get really competitive out there. As you all know, I dislocated my pinky, but it's getting better now. And yeah, it's really fun to see. It's really fun to see how lively it is to see our parks come to life with the folks that kind of come to them. And next Thursday, June 1st, is our city-sponsored Pride Flag raising ceremony at 4 p.m. We're going to be raising, I know currently we have the Pride Flag out for Harvey Milk Day, but there's going to be an official Pride raising flag ceremony next Thursday at 4 p.m. on June 1st. And also I know when I'm going to the kickball league games, the parking at behind the Southwest Center, there's like I don't know if we need to kind of go over it a little bit more with the parking spots are hard to kind of figure out where to park. And I know, I'm scared to park my car there. I just got a new car and I don't want to get hit. So is there plans to kind of improve that, or?
Yeah, we're actually waiting until the season ends, and we're working with our public works department to actually stripe that parking lot properly, with lines so people know how to park, because we have seen that too. So there are plans in the works to get that done.
Great, that's exciting. Yes. And Susie, if you ever need letters of support I know you said you met your submitting applications for parks. I'm happy to submit individual letter of support as a chair of the Parks Commission, but to the extent that maybe for the meeting if you have any due in July, maybe have the application or have letters of support that we can sign off on as a commission for the June meeting.
I had a note to bring that up tonight, and I did not. So I thank you for bringing that up for me.
Great. So yeah, I'm happy to sign on as for letters of support on my behalf, but I think this commission will sign on to any letter of support for applications for grants. And the next on the agenda are executive director comments. Executive director, do you have any comments for tonight?
Just thank you guys for your support, the community, my team members here, just thank you for that. And like I said, next week we we kick off our, Movies in the Park series, and as well as our aquatics program. So, visit our website. There's a lot of great information on there. And that's all I really have to say. Summer's here, and I can't believe it's going to be June, so, and that's all I've got. Thank you.
Great. This is the conclusion of the meeting. The next regular meeting will take place on Thursday, June 22nd, 2023. Meeting will be adjourned at 7:37.